I suppose that in some ways I'm at a disadvantage to address the question of how I feel connected to God, because coming from a Hasidic family, and coming from a rabbinic Hasidic family, where there was so many instances, so many stories of clear, near miraculous occurrences, that I'm just, that's part of what I grew up into, and I got it in my mother's milk, right? So that happened with my connection with God. But here and there, I have picked up indications of people who have connections with God that I envied, and that I realized that there are people who've related to God in a different way than I do. I'm at the Kotel, right? And I'm praying, I'm saying the Psalms with as much feeling as I could muster. And I see that they're bringing somebody down to the wall, a blind man. Right? He's a Sephardi with these thin little features and the little peyot. And they bring him down to the wall, and of course he can't see the wall. So he feels the wall, and he's feeling history on his fingertips, kisses the wall. And then he starts off talking to God. I couldn't make out everything he's saying, because he's talking a million miles an hour, and he's talking to God, and abruptly he stops and he says, "Oh, I told you that yesterday." Right? And I said, "Hey, he's praying much more than I am." Right? He knows that he talked to God yesterday and that God heard him. There's no sense in repeating it. Right? And I realized that was a kind of prayer. Right? There are times when I remember I was at one retreat where a woman said to me, "I walked past the services today, and I saw you were praying." And I stood there, and I felt so bad because I don't know anything about prayer. And I wanted to do something. I wanted to pray, but I didn't know how. And I said, wait a minute, Bernice. The way you look at it is, I was praying, and you were not praying, right? You want to look at it from God's perspective? God sees me coming into the synagogue, and he says, "Oh, here comes Twerski again. What does he want this time?" Every time he comes in, he says, "God, give me this, God, give me this, God, give me this." But then he looked at you and he says, "But look at my child Bernice. She's standing out there. She wants to get close to me. She doesn't know how." Right? Now tell me, whose prayer was better? My prayer that I verbalized, or your silent prayer? So there's things like this that happen that you begin to realize what kind of connection a person can have with God.